Welcome to Vlogmas Day 23. I cannot believe we are already at Vlogmas Day 23. This is crazy. You're having the chillest, most relaxing, do-nothing day ever. And I don't know exactly why. It's not really intentional, other than the fact that I'm tired, which I think I have said every day of Vlogmas thus far. The vibes in here are very, very, very cozy, but you guys are facing the wrong direction for that. But if I turn you around, I have the fire thing going on the TV with the stockings and the tree and the presents and stuff here. But I have no way to make that your guys' background, so you get nothing. But I did decide that because of David's work schedule, on Christmas Eve, we're basically going to be building the gingerbread houses because David's boss has given him permission to work from home on Christmas Eve. Well, all of them. All of the regionals in the West area are given permission to work from home on Christmas Eve as long as sales stay relatively good up until then, which they have. David's region has performed really well the last few days or so, something like that. So he will likely be able to work from home Christmas Eve, which means yesterday we were supposed to build gingerbread houses, but we couldn't do that because he had to work. So Christmas Eve we're gonna build gingerbread houses. Not really sure how many circles I just spoke in. I can't keep one train of thought. Usually I would do the video for today, which is going to be like my New Year's goals. I'm not gonna call them resolutions because that's too committal for me. They're just my goals. And we don't always hit our goals, but it gives us something to aim towards. But usually I would do that later in Vlogmas and do it closer to, I guess it's pretty late in Vlogmas. How much later can I possibly do it? But I don't know, it just feels like a more closer to the end of the year type video, even outside of Vlogmas, maybe December 31st or something, you know? But because we're gonna do the gingerbread houses on Christmas Eve, which we also were considering doing, there's something called the Pleasanton Winter Glow, which is one of those drive-through light situations. We were thinking about doing that, but annoyingly, California's weather just says rain. But it doesn't rain during the day. It's literally said rain for the last over a week, and it rains between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. But yet the forecast says rain. Why? It should just say cloudy because that's when people are conscious and awake and that's what matters. But no. So I don't know whether to commit and buy the ticket to go or not, because if it's raining while we're there, it's gonna be really annoying because it's gonna be harder to see, the raindrops on the windshield will make it all blurry. We're not gonna wanna have the windows down, all those things. But if it's not gonna rain, I would kinda like to go because I think it'd be cute. But I don't think we're gonna do it just out of the risk that it is actually raining, because that would be my luck. The one day I just need it to not rain during the actual day or evening, it would. Anyways, I'm not sure what else this video is gonna be, but I figured while I'm sitting here on the couch doing nothing except for losing feeling in my feet currently because I'm sitting crisscross, I could go over some of my New Year's goals, which there aren't a ton this year or this coming year. One of them I was gonna put on here was birth a baby. But I don't really think that's a goal. I think that's gonna happen regardless, one way or another. So, but my first one is put health and fitness first. Obviously, I'm still going to be pregnant for the first quarter of 2026, which we just hit our third trimester. Yesterday, I think? Well, it depends on if my OB agrees that she's a little younger than what we originally anticipated. I've already gone ahead and changed my due date in this app because I think he's going to agree and I think we're gonna move her due date. But as of yesterday, we have hit third trimester, so go us. But I can still do super light workouts, walking, maybe some pregnancy yoga type situation during third trimester until she comes. But then post that, Obviously, again, I will be very postpartum, so nothing crazy, nothing like what I used to do. We will have to slowly work our way back up. But as far as like nutrition and all of that kind of thing and just staying moving a little bit, I really want to focus on that, because now it's not just like I want to look cute in my clothes situation. Like, I want to be a freaking fun, active mom. That's the one thing I've always had kind of going for me as somebody who wants to be a mom. I'm not, no offense to those of you who are boring adults, but I'm not a boring adult. My life is kind of boring. But like, if a kid asks me to play on a playground with them, like, I'm not gonna be the mom sitting on the bench talking to other moms like, oh, that one's mine over there. No. I am so team running through the jungle gym, jumping off of like platforms, swinging on the swings type active parent. I just think it's way more fun for not only the child, but for me. And I want to be able to do that kind of stuff. And if I just like totally let myself go postpartum, then that will be very, very, very difficult. So not just for me anymore, but like to be the parent I want to be, I really, really, really want to focus on just a healthy lifestyle and mindset so that I can recover as fast and as well as possible. My second goal is figure out my mom style. Which again, I'm not looking to dress like I'm 40, okay? I'm 27 and I still want to be young, cute, like, you know? But it's like when I was going through my closet the other day, whatever day of Vlogmas that was, I want to elevate my style without looking old, but I also don't want to look like I'm a high schooler shopping at Ross. No offense, Ross. If you shop at Ross, that's great for you. But it's just cheap clothing that you can get in like massive bulk, and it doesn't do anything for your body. It doesn't really make you look cute. Like, there's just, I want higher end items that actually complement me, look a little nicer, a little bit more elevated, without also looking old. And I'm struggling greatly with that. Pinterest is my friend, but then it's taking it from Pinterest to actually finding the item in real life is very difficult. So my goal is to figure out like different shops to shop at, clothes that cut and flatter me well, you know, like that kind of vibe. I just want to find a more mature without being old style that is not just oversized hoodies and leggings, even though there's nothing wrong with that, and I will continue to wear that. It's just more like when I leave my house, I want to look presentable. Obviously, I have mentioned a couple times through Vlogmas that I need to spend more time on my thumbnails and on my descriptions. I have half-assed my thumbnails and my descriptions since basically the beginning of starting YouTube. I don't think about it until I'm done filming, and I feel weird. Descriptions are weird for me to write because you're almost like writing in third person, but I need to just like sit down and watch other YouTube videos about how to write them, how to do thumbnails. I need to watch like how to use Canva to make them more like entertaining type thumbnails instead of just like the one screen grab from the video. I want to put more time and effort into that. And hopefully being a stay-at-home mom will allow me to do that, because especially for the first couple months of her life, she's just gonna be sleeping and pooping. Sleep, poop, eat, sleep, poop, eat. It should be relatively manageable. Try short form content. I know this was on my like New Year's goals, resolutions last year. But last year I was really banking on the idea of TikTok being banned, okay? I know a lot of people did not want that, but when I tell you I do not use TikTok, I don't even watch YouTube Shorts. I don't watch short form content. In fact, as much as I say I don't want to dress like I'm 40, I act like I'm 40 because my only short form content that I consume is on Facebook. Like, if it's not good enough to reach Facebook, it's not for me. I think TikTok is just a dark hole of nothingness. And I know that there's useful things on there and that they're whatever. It's just not for me. So I don't know that I have a TikTok. When I decided to make my YouTube channel, I got my username secured on all platforms. So I think I'm going to focus more on YouTube Shorts because I think YouTube is just going to be my home. But if I start making them on YouTube Shorts, it would be easy to also just post them to TikTok as well. Might as well if I'm going to spend the time doing it. So we'll see. Maybe I'll start doing TikToks as well. I don't know though. My next one is find something outside of YouTube that might interest me as a career. So as much as I want YouTube to be my career, who knows if that's like a long-term thing or how that'll go or what that looks like, you know, when I'm 40, even if I ever get monetized, I don't know. But it's kind of like social media is clearly kind of an unstable thing. And since I'm going to have all this time at home, I'm thinking, because I think, again, first time mom here, so I think they start kindergarten at around 4. And so I don't plan on doing daycare. I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom. So like she's gonna be home with me for like 4 years up until school age. And then she'll start school. But that gives me 4 years to like set myself up in a career situation. So like if I find something that I need a degree for, well, I can do an at-home online degree situation and then be ready to go by the time she reaches school age. Or, you know, certifications or whatever it may be. Like, I have 4 years, a little over 4 years, maybe even 5. Do they start kindergarten at 5? I don't know. I don't remember. Something. I have plenty of time to find something that interests me, figure out what I need to be able to make that my career, get whatever that is, degree, certification, hours, whatever that is, and then be ready to maybe step into that actual career post Ava going into school. I do still want it to be pretty flexible though, because I'm going to be the mom that is at every sports game, that can be an active parent in the classroom with her if that's a thing that the school does. Like, so I want it to still be something that can work around my life, but I just have no idea. I really have no idea. I could go into like marketing, which I've always been kind of interested in. Digital, anything I've kind of been interested in. I've always been slightly interested in being like maybe like a paralegal. I used to say lawyer, but I think we're just gonna be honest with ourselves. There is no way my ass is passing law school. Ain't no way. But I think I could become a paralegal, and I think I'd be pretty good at it. So anyway, I want to find something and spend the first 4 years of me being a stay-at-home mom prepping myself to potentially have a career once I have more free time and Ava's no longer with me 24/7. The next one. This is just like I want to consciously make this a goal so that I stay in this state of mind, which I'm very, very, very good at. The one thing about me is I have learned to be incredibly patient with myself. Like, I'm not somebody who will fail and then beat myself down for it, or will mess up and then like beat myself down for it. I'm such a like, is what it is, move on type person. But the next one is be patient and gracious with myself while figuring out how to be a mom. Because I have this like picture of what I want Ava's life to look like. And we all know life does not go as planned all the time, you know? So it's like Dave and I have moved a lot, and we have never really made like a house a home, you know? Like, we move into apartments, we set up the basic things that we have, you know, we might put up a couple pictures and do whatever, but like, we never really get comfortable and move in, and it never becomes like home, you know? which we're not gonna do in this apartment because we definitely wanna leave this apartment. We've been looking at houses, although it's a little early to be doing that because they're not gonna be available when we actually plan on moving. But we have our heart and mind set on leaving this apartment when our lease is up in July, end of July, like going into August, and moving into a house, which will be the first time we live in a house together. We have always been in apartments that has enough rooms for Ava to have a nursery and for us to have a room and for guests to have a room and for David to have a whole separate office and a backyard for the dogs, which don't even get me started on my beef with what backyards are in California. It's a slab of cement. Like, that's not a backyard, okay? Anyway, not gonna get on that rant tangent, but I want to have her have like a home, even if it's not forever, because it won't be, because there's no way, and again, David and I are on this page together, no way we are raising this child in California. Not a chance. Once she reaches school age, we want to be out of California. So maybe for the first few years, you know, because he has a good job here and he had a good setup and a good, you know, we're good here for a little while. But we do not want to put her in school in California. We will be moving out of here at the absolute maximum 5 years from now. But we're really hoping it's more like a year from now. Well, a year and a half, I guess, because we still have 6 months until our lease is up. So then we'll sign another year lease somewhere else at a house. So like a year and a half, maybe 2, I don't know. We're not having Ava go to school in California. So my goal is to have her still like feel at home places, and even if I know it's temporary, to really make a place feel like home. Because I am somebody who will just live out of a suitcase forever. It's really bad. Along with other things, you know, like as I was saying, being like an active, fun parent, you know, being able to give her the things she wants. There's a whole breastfeeding side of this, which I know is going to be super challenging because everybody talks about it all the time, on how everyone thinks it should be so natural, and it's absolutely not. It's probably one of the hardest things you're ever going to do, and blah, 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 blah. So, my goal is to just be patient and gracious with myself while I figure out how to be a mom. Because unfortunately for Ava, she's the test child. She's number 1, which means she gets all of the mistakes. I want to start a recipe book. That's my next one. This is gonna sound like I'm 40, but I have a list of meals that I just like go through for our weekly meals or whatever. But like being a mom, I want to have like a recipe book and just keep being able to like build to it and add to it, so that when I'm like looking at how, like I have, what is it up there? There's like meatloaf up there. But every time I make it, I have to go and Google the recipe. And then I'm, you know, picking different recipes here and there or whatever. You know, I want to like find a recipe that I really, really like, and then be able to like copy paste or write it down or whatever and put it into a recipe book that then I can just start referencing my recipe book instead of just like Googling recipes, because they're all different and they're all over the place, and I think they're really annoying to try and find. The last one is journal. And I don't mean like a Dear Diary situation, but like, I just think it's fun, especially since like I've started like writing my like little journal entries to Ava while being pregnant. I think it'll be so fun someday to look back at that and maybe like share that with her and have it go through, you know, like, oh, it's week 24, we're going to our anatomy scan. Like, this is how it went. You're the most stubborn child known to mankind. You know, like, I just think it'd be really, really fun to look back at that. And I also think that like, maybe someday when way down the line, when she potentially has, you know, is pregnant or has kids or does whatever, it might be fun for her to reference my journals about my experience being pregnant, my first year as a mom, my second year as a mom, you know, and then like be able to add in maybe like pictures of her growing up at those stages. And I just think it'd be so freaking cute to be able to put journals like that in, I guess I can't decide if I would put them in my keep box, because I keep a keep box for me, a keep box for David, and then I'll keep a keep box for her. I don't really know if I'd put those in hers or in mine. Either way, they will be accessible eventually, someday, for her, if she wants them. And I just think it'd be really fun. But anyway, that's all I have for my New Year's goals. There's not a ton there. I'm trying to keep it reasonable. I'm really happy with them. I feel like they're obtainable and healthy and not like the new year, new me. Girl, I will forever be the same me. I am me. That is who I am. That is who I will always be. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But anyway, I don't know what else we're gonna do today, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. The dogs have been snoozing all day. I mean, look at this freaking dog. I don't know if you guys can see her. Like, you can't even see her head because she has it pinned between the couch and I put the cat bed on the couch last night because I just wanted Willow to be extra cozy. And sometimes I feel bad that she's the only animal locked out of the bedroom at night. Who knows, maybe we'll take a nap today. Maybe I'll bake some cookies today. I'll take you guys along with that if I decide to do that. But for now,